Today I'm going to share my birthday wish list, which can also be named what to get the artist, the mixed media artist that has everything, or an artist gift guide. Hi, welcome. If you're new here, my name is Irit. I'm a mixed media artist based in Austria and Europe, and on my channel I share my artsy adventures. My birthday is coming up next week and the holidays are soon upon us, so I thought this would be a wonderful opportunity to tell you what I have on my wish list, and maybe that will give you some ideas. I will say, pro tip, if you have a mixed media artist in your life, especially one that has been painting for years and has a lot of stuff, my recommendation is not to think that you can choose what to buy by yourself. The way to make your artist friend or loved one the happiest is to give them like a gift card for their favorite art store. That would be my top tip. And my artist friends, send this video to your loved ones and tell them, listen to some good advice. But since I know most of you watching are my fellow creatives, I want to share with you what I'm on the hunt for, what I would like to add to my collection of art supplies. And actually, two of the things that I'm going to mention are products that I have and love, but I just want to get more colors. So let me know in the comments what is on your holiday birthday wish list. I would love to know. Tell me also if you have any of the things that I'm going to mention and how you like them. First thing that I want to buy, and I think once I wrap this filming, I will sit down and do some online shopping and order that set for me. I want to order the 120 set of the Mungyo Gallery oil pastels. I bought the 48 set a year ago, exactly a year ago. I was visiting a friend in the US and I ordered it from Amazon US. I don't know if it was available at the time in Austria and Europe. And I think if it was, maybe on Amazon, but it was like a lot more expensive. And so I knew I was going to the US, so I ordered the set. The 48 colors, I think, was around $20, something like this. So very, very affordable. I have some oil pastels, but either they are expensive, messy, or I just don't really like them. I got a Paul Rubens set at some point and they were like really oily. Some of the colors were nice, but all in all, I didn't fall in love with them. And then my favorites are probably the Schminke, are they Schminke? No, I'm sorry. These are the Caran d'Ache Neo Pastels. I really, really love these, but they are more expensive. Yeah, those are probably my favorite after the gallery one. The Sennelier are glorious, but they are like so messy, so soft, so oily. I don't know how people manage to work with them and, seal their work properly. If you have like a tip, if you love to work with the Sennelier oil pastels, that is like your main medium of painting. Tell me how you like fixate your work or how you finish them, because that's just like, I don't know how to do that. So I decided to get the 120 set of the Mungyo Gallery oil pastels to get more colors, because many times I sit and I play with the oil pastels. I love them. They are creamy, they're pigmented, but they're not like messy. They're not oily on the outside like the Paul Rubens were. They're like formula perfection. I would say, like for me, for my personal preferences, really on par with the Caran d'Ache ones, but the Caran d'Ache are much more expensive. So the 120 set, it is available on Amazon US for $100, which is, I think, an amazing price. But since I'm not going to be in the US soon, then I'm going to actually order it from a local to me shop relatively, Gerstaecker, which is where I buy most of my art supplies. And they have the 120 set for 115 euros, which is also a really good price. That means less than €1 per pastel. I will have duplicates, but that means that I can perhaps put the smaller set in like a travel kit, which would be wonderful because I really, really enjoy these. So that's definitely like number one on my wish list. I'll probably go and buy it like now. Tell me, what is more fun than like shopping for art supplies? Okay, the second thing that I will be adding to my arsenal, and it's definitely on my wish list, are the new colors from the Derwent drawing pencils. I have the 24 set, which was the only set available till recently. And now they have expanded the color range to 72 colors, I think. And a lot of people are very excited about it. I think for good reason. The Derwent drawing pencils are some of my favorites. If you're not familiar, they're very soft lead. And right now the color range, it is very earthy, natural colors, but I don't feel like it's 50 shades of brown. They have really, really pretty colors that are just like muted tones. So they're expanding their range, and from what I could tell, it is still a very like natural color palette that I think a lot of people will enjoy. I actually enjoy how it pairs with my brighter colors, so it kind of tones things down. I will not be buying the full 72 sets because then I will have 24 duplicates, and it is very expensive. I think I saw it at like £190, something like this. So no, I will probably collect some of the new colors like as I go, buy a few pencils at a time once they become available in open stock at the shops where I buy from. I'm very excited about it because those are alongside Prismacolors and the Luminance pencils and the Holbein pencils, Luminance or Caran d'Ache. Those are my favorite colored pencils to play with. I do really want to redo one wall to start with in my studio space, my painting room, workroom. And what I had in mind, since I don't have like a high budget, first of all, I want to paint the wall kind of like a dark turquoise, not like super dark, but kind of mid-value, maybe darker turquoise / emerald green type of color. I'm thinking, nothing is set yet. Also, it correlates with laziness and motivation levels, which are very, they fluctuate greatly. So we'll see. But what I'm thinking of right now, I have like a super old Billy like bookcase from IKEA, as you say in North America, as it's like so old that the new doors don't even fit it, so I can't just like put doors because it's too open, and it's too cluttered. So I want closed storage for mostly books is what I have on that wall. And what I was thinking is to put like a series, I don't know how many I can fit, like maybe 3, some sort of like closed shelf units. So maybe the Ivar series from IKEA. I'm sorry, in Europe we say IKEA, so I know it confuses some of my American and Canadian viewers, but if I say IKEA, that is for you IKEA. So yeah, I can't switch even though I'm speaking English. So the Ivar series or Eval series from IKEA, they are like massive wood. It's like, it's not, MDF or anything like that. So I think it's like a quality piece of furniture compared to other pieces at IKEA. And they have like these very simple closed, like natural wood. It's unfinished and uncoated. So that means you can paint it very easily to any color you want. So I thought about maybe just like painting them the same color as the wall to create kind of a very clean look and mount them on the wall. That depends if I'll have someone do that for me, because I mean, I know I can do it, but I don't know that I will. So either mount them or just like, put them on some legs. And then on top of them, that means I can hang artwork and do kind of like staging area where I can like present my art, also have a very visually pleasing background for filming and taking pictures, and maybe also put some pretty things that I can paint when I'm doing still life, which is not very often, but I do enjoy it occasionally. So that would be like a really wish list, but ideally I would want this to be done for me. And I don't know if my husband is in such a giving mood. So I would love that. Okay, another thing that I have really enjoyed in the last weeks, especially as I was filming content for the November Joy Art Club, which I'm going to take this opportunity to tell you that I am reopening enrollment to the Joy Art Club. It's only €9 a month, and you get tons of exclusive content, a warm community. We're now almost 150 people there. And it's just really fun. What I love about it, which I know is not, I mean, this fits the wall. I know it's not what I should say, and hopefully not everyone on the Joy Art Club agrees with me, but I think the best part about the Joy Art Club is that we gather inspiration from different sources. It's not just my videos, my tutorials. I get targeted on Instagram with all kinds of art-related ads. And I got one today. I was watching a class about soft pastels. And they were saying in the marketing video, I'm sure, by the way, that it's like a fantastic class. And definitely a great way to learn how to use new supplies or to practice new techniques is to copy other artists, 100%. But they were saying, like, learn how to paint like this or create this exact painting. And this to me is like, okay, this ad is not for me. It's not what I like. My favorite classes and my favorite art teachers are those that encourage creativity. And I love to be in groups where everyone does their thing, which is what we do in the Joy Art Club. There is a huge variety of styles, and I give challenges every week, which you can follow or do your own thing, and people do both. And that's kind of like my favorite thing. And we draw inspiration from old masters, from contemporary artists. I also hop around between styles and things in a pace that I haven't seen in other art clubs. There are some amazing art clubs out there. This was one of the things that was missing for me because I like to try a lot of things and different things attract me. And so we try a lot of things and we experience a lot of different styles in the Joy Art Club. And that's one of my favorite things about the club, but there is a lot more there. I will leave the link below. It's thejoyartclub.com. You can go there and read all the details. Right now, I think it's still, like, the website is still closed, but I will open it next week for enrollment. If you want to join, you can quit any time, just try it. It's €9 a month, so very low risk, I would say. What I was really enjoying, this was kind of my goal, to practice abundance. I have to admit that many times when I'm painting, I feel precious about paint because some of my art supplies are expensive. Like, my favorite pink comes in like this tube. It's from Holbein. It's not this one. This is the Luminous Violet. My favorite is the Luminous Rose. Almost. So you see, it's a small tube, it is not super cheap, and I get precious about it. So one of my exercises and challenges to myself is to really practice abundance. And for that, I looked for some paint in my local art store that are widely available to me. The Holbein ones I have to order online, and it takes time till it gets to me. I went to my art store and I stocked up on a few, not as many colors as I would like ideally, but a few really colors that I love. I tried, there are some like primaries here, but I don't necessarily love mixing paint all the time. And so I just chose colors that I love. I got out of my head and just chose colors that I love. And I got some large containers of those colors. These are actually some of the more expensive ones. These are from Amsterdam and they're more expensive, but these ones, for example, from the local shop where I buy Bosnell, these are 750 mils, and I can't remember if they were like €8 or €11. That's kind of similar in dollars. And so I feel like I can be a lot freer when I use these, which is something that I aspire to be. I think especially since my main medium of painting for many years was watercolor, you come with a different mindset with watercolors, right? You have like your palette and the tubes are like, the big ones are 15 milliliters, or I have a few that are like 30 milliliters. It's a completely different mindset. You don't work in the scale and the kind of layers that you work with acrylic, or at least with the look that I'm now trying to achieve, which is like more of a layered look. It was really hard for me to make kind of that mental switch, and I'm working on this. So that's why I went and I bought some larger containers, even if only to use for those like initial layers that you end up covering, but you can't create that layered look without multiple layers, right? They're probably, you know, they're not the most like pigmented, high quality paints, but they serve the purpose. I would like to get a few more colors. Yeah, so that's really my goal, to use more paint, mostly to work on that mindset of abundance and just like painting freely in the way that I imagined. And I can't always bring myself to do that because I'm thinking about you know, paint is expensive. So it's kind of on my wish list. It's a combination of an idea and, you know, an actual thing to buy. But I really want to work on that. Okay, another thing that is on my wish list is another paint trolley. Now, I would love to get the Meeden, like the fancy one with the glass palette on top that is from, again, like massive wood. I don't know how you say it in English. You know, it's like actual wood. It's not like MDF or something like this. In German, we say massiv Holz, so I'm not sure. But, you know, like real wood. It's really, really beautiful. It costs like 400 euros or something like this. Meeden has actually reached out, like full disclosure, they reached out to me a few times with offers, but they didn't want to send me the expensive item that I wanted. And so for now, we haven't collaborated. So that is on my wish list, but honestly, it's not something that I want to spend that amount. I mean, for that amount, I could renovate that entire wall and get everything that I want, which I think is a higher priority for me right now. But I do think it's a beautiful piece. And, you know, maybe if you already have like the perfect studio, but you don't have like that perfect cart, maybe you would like that. I also saw on Emily Powell's, I think I saw an image from her studio somewhere on Pinterest. She's one of my current artist crushes. Love, love, love her works so much. And I saw she had like a metal cart that was yellow. I don't know if it's from IKEA. I have to look, but it looked very cute. Of course, it wasn't like as fancy and didn't have like all the features of the Meeden one, but it looked like something that might like tick that box of what I'm looking for, which is just like a simple trolley to put paints. I have a couple of trolleys, but I don't know that they give the right vibe of what I'm looking for. I would love to go again to the Gerstaecker Museum in Paris. They have some books that are exclusive to them. I was there in September, but I just had a suitcase and I couldn't carry around like a bunch of books. So I need to go to Paris with a car. Or like a completely empty suitcase and fill it with books. They had some unique books that they, I guess, published themselves that I haven't seen anywhere else and I haven't been able to find online anywhere else. Those were amazing. Another trip to Paris, I would put that on my wish list. Just saying, just putting it out there for the universe. These cute earrings were gifted to me by my lovely friend Eva. If she's watching, hi. If you're watching, hi. Thank you so much. I love them. And we got them in a little shop in Vienna last time we were there. So they're definitely on brand for me. I love them. This is like a little bit of craft related. If you're multi-passionate, if you love to paint and also knit or crochet, I'm happy to report that I am back into knitting and I finished already 2 scarves, which I'm super excited about. I wanted to say both from my stash of yarn, my very large stash of yarn, but that was a lie because actually for one of them I bought yarn because I wanted it in a specific color to match a new coat that I got from Zara, which I'm like really obsessed with. I'll put a picture of it here if I can find it. I 100% I manifested this coat. I was walking in Vienna and I told my friend Eva, I told her I want to get like a really fun kind of oversized winter coat. I have like my go-to one is one of those like kind of nylon ones. It's very light and it's very warm, but it's not really stylish. It's kind of my day-to-day, you know, I live in the countryside. I go out, like I bring my kids to the bus station or the school. So I don't feel like I need a stylish coat for that. I feel like I need something like really light and easy. But I wanted something a little bit more elevated. That Zara coat, I hardly ever go into Zara shops. I don't know, I really prefer, like if I can, to buy things in like small boutiques. Been to Vienna, I don't know how many times, like so many times in the last 20 years, but I've never gone into Zara in the center of Vienna. But that day I decided to go in and it was like hanging on one of the first hangers, this coat. It was really calling my name. It was about half the price of all of the other coats in the shop. It wasn't on sale. It was just like the regular price, which I was like, mine now, yes. And it's like brown with a little bit of blue in it. So I had to buy matching yarns. From there, we went to the yarn shop and I bought blue yarn and made myself a cute scarf to go with it. So that got me back into knitting. I finished that and I made another scarf in a similar, like very similar style for my daughter, actually from yarn that I had in my stash. So at least that. I started the ranunculus sweater. I'm in the yoke, like somewhere here, and I'm really loving the pattern. Usually I prefer to knit like smaller projects just because I get impatient and then it adds to the pile of unfinished projects. But this seems to be going well. I am knitting it in like one color, which is very hard for me, but it is a very beautiful color. So happy about that. I'm also knitting the Muscle Burrow hat. Both of these patterns are super popular in the knitting world. If you're a knitter, you probably have heard about them. So I'm knitting also that hat, and I'll probably start another scarf. The scarves that I knitted were the Sophie scarf from Petite Knit. So I'm challenging myself to use up some of my stash, or if I'm doing something, then just like, you know, buy the pattern and buy the yarn for that pattern and nothing more. I'll let you know how that works. So I'm super happy to be knitting again because it has replaced my doom scrolling, especially, you know, when I'm just like in my downtime between painting. It's really, I'm so grateful that I can do all these things and share them with other creatives and multi-passionate people. I want to talk about something else. I forgot to film one thing that I've had on my wish list for years, but I actually don't want to spend the money, or at least there are always other things that I want to get before I get that. Well, the dream would be a Thermomix, but there is a cheaper version that costs like a third or a quarter of the price. That is called the Monsier Cuisine. You can find it here in Lidl supermarkets, and it's 450 euros if you get it like on a sale or something like this. I've wanted this sort of machine, you know, it cooks, it cuts, it like does a bazillion things, but it's also big. And for me, the whole idea of having such a cooking machine is where it lives permanently on your kitchen counter. Now, my kitchen is probably the tiniest you've seen in a family home. It works for me. I cook from scratch most days, like something I would cook from scratch on most days of the week, or some days of the week, and see if my family's watching this. But I love to cook. My kids like to eat different things than I like to eat, but I really love to eat like simple, but heavy on different ingredients. So, you know, a lot of vegetables or a lot of fruit, meals, you know, like stews and soups, especially now that winter is coming. And I would love to have such a machine. I think it would upgrade my cooking experience. I've chatted about this with ChatGPT because I feel sorry for my husband. We've discussed it and we reached the conclusion that it would probably elevate my cooking experience and would be like a really, really fun thing to add, but I still kind of get, I think for like, if it really does everything it's supposed to do, I think 450 euros is like a really good price. The Thermomix is 1,000, 200, 300, 400, 500. I didn't even look. That is just like too much for me. That is on my wish list, but it's also, I don't know that I actually want, you know, to buy it, or like for my husband to buy it, because it's still like our money. So I don't know. You know, it's kind of like all the things that it does I can do, or I have things like I have other machines that do it, but since we have such a small kitchen, they are never on the kitchen counter. Because I like to keep things really, really clear, like really minimalistic where it comes to kitchen counter space. We only have like a coffee machine and a water heater, and then, and you know, like a little like oil sauce turning thing, but pretty much it's empty besides that, which is quite necessary when you have a tiny kitchen. I think, especially if you're in the US, I think if you saw my fridge, you would have to sit down or take a moment because you wouldn't believe that a family of 4 lives with such a fridge. But I do have to say, like, our fridge is like this big. You can see, like this big, I think. Yeah, I would say that's a fair assessment. But I go to the supermarket almost every day. That's how Austrians are. I have like a supermarket 5 minutes from my house, next to the school. I buy like fresh bread like almost every day, not for myself or my kids, but I don't eat a lot of bread, which is actually a real shame because the bread in Austria is incredible. There's nobody outside of my family that would spend 450 euros on me. Like, nobody would gift me such an expensive gift. So I don't know if I will ever get it, but maybe I should like enter some contests to win it and like ask the universe for it. So yeah, it's a little bit of a fantasy. Because but I would love to know if you have like a Thermomix or the Monsieur Cuisine. Let me know. I know my friend has something like a cooking machine. I think it's kind of like between those two. It's not as cheap as the Monsieur Cuisine and it's not as expensive as the Thermomix, and she loves it. But yeah, I definitely wanted to mention the Monsieur Cuisine. I guess I would just love people's opinions. Like regular people like me, you know, not from the, I don't know, cooking YouTube. I hope you enjoyed this video, and let me know in the comments what is on your wish list. Really, like, tell me what you are dying to get this season and which art supplies are really, really floating your boat and you're excited about. I will see you hopefully next week. I want to do kind of a monthly favorites video. I have some wins and some fails of this month that are just not as exciting as I hoped they would be. So make sure you are subscribed, ring the bell so that you know when I post new videos. I wish you a wonderful weekend. Thank you so much for watching. Have a lovely day. Take care. Bye bye.